Massive news for global payroll adoption. Let's hear from VC from Dragonfly Capital, Rob Haddock.
About what's going on in terms of stablecoin usage and really the divergence perhaps that you could be seeing in the US, of course, the dollar world and non-US dollar world. What is really the main takeaway that you want our viewers to walk away from?
So we've seen cross-border settlement and stablecoins grow very quickly. There's a lot of conversation out there. Stablecoins are doing more transactions than, Visa or MasterCard today. Those data or that piece of data is really missing, call it the specific, payments use cases. So that's kind of all trading and all kind of like pairs of everything that happens on chain. But even within, call it just the payments piece, there's, pretty good data out there that tells us something like 10% of cross-border remittance from US to Mexico and US to India is happening in US dollar stablecoins today. We've started to see a significant amount of volume in stablecoin cross-border settlement from the US to Singapore using DBS and JP Morgan through a pilot that's been championed by the Monetary Authority of Singapore. We've seen I talked about earlier, the Hong Kong stablecoin issuance license that went out there, and we see HSBC and Standard Chartered building for those Hong Kong dollar stablecoins for a future of tokenized assets and settlement there. And when you think about the demographics that are happening in Asia and Asian, trade that is happening between Asia and Africa, Asia and Latin America. I mean, these are markets that, if I just take Japan or Singapore or Korea or Hong Kong, these are all over $1 trillion trade markets. And they're already seeing some significant portion, probably, call it 10-ish%, 5 to 10% happen in stablecoins. And that's why you've seen the governments and the banks start to get defensive. We now have 8 banks in Korea that want to issue their own Korean won stablecoin. We have 2 kind of banks and bank consortiums in Japan that are issuing Japan yen stablecoins. We're seeing this happen in Singapore right now as well. And I talked about Hong Kong. And so you can clearly see the biggest companies in the world, the biggest banks, the governments saying, we expect this to be the future of how cross-border money movement happens. And this kind of ramp that we're seeing today, which is quick, but on a small denominator, is only going to pick up and continue.
So here we see the biggest companies in the world are moving towards stablecoins. And Rob Haddock thinks that's only going to continue here. As I come back in the screen here, what is going on, guys? Some big news announced from Zebec here. Let me go ahead and share our screen here. That was Rob Haddock of Dragonfly Capital. And just to let you know who Dragonfly Capital is, let's bring up some stuff here. They're an investor in Near Protocol, but recently here they had some big investments in things like Rain and Mesh, which are for payments. So again, that's everything that Zebec wants and everything that Zebec needs. But also, let's hear from Simon Babakani here. He told us here that stablecoin adoption with all different banks just helps Zebec. Shout out to the Stablecoin podcast. Let's listen right now.
Well, banks entering the space is actually a net positive for companies like Zebec for a variety of reasons. Number one, the more banks that now issue and transact with stablecoins means that we can tap an even larger number of corporates in the US. That's the first benefit. If you're using the community bank on Main Street and they're not offering stablecoin, well, it's a little bit more tricky for you to be doing stablecoin payroll with Zebec. So we're going to see more and more banks opt in, which opens us up to a much bigger share of the $11 trillion in annual US payroll volume. And then when you see bank-led consortiums like Zelle entering the stablecoin space, that is another net positive for Zebec, because now we'll be able to connect Zelle Pay to the Zebec super app, meaning that through a simple Zelle push, you'll be able to load stablecoins directly into your Zebec app. That is the easiest, cleanest off-ramp that you could ever build.
Now, I played that a little backwards, and I played it on purpose. If anyone is new to Zebec, I'm going to play this clip for you here. And this is going to be from Rami of the Stablecoin podcast. In about 3 minutes, it sums up everything that Zebec is trying to do, and it'll let you know exactly where the project is heading. Let me play that for you now, and we'll go right back into this clip.
Sorry, I mean on-ramp.
So let me take it back here to here.
Good, because effectively MasterCard and the card companies are actually being super smart here in that they are utilizing their network without having to, or their trusted network, the trust that's there, and the link to the merchants for people to buy things, and dislocating or disintermediating the banks in between. So Zebec effectively, as you say, is a neobank for the unbanked, for people who don't have a bank. So you're able to spend money, earn money, send money. And looking at your website, you can stake, and there are some investment products there as well. You don't need a bank, actually,
Absolutely.
to operate in the real world. So, we always talk about we're in the crypto world and we're all very wallet centric and everyone knows how to use it. But for the mass adoption, they are not ready for this. You need to have the trusted icon. It needs to work in Apple Pay. It needs to work on a MasterCard or a Visa or something like this, something that they're familiar with. And behind the scenes, they almost don't care that it's a stable coin. It just means you're getting paid your real money quicker, faster, cheaper, and you can still spend it. So, and you're delivering cost savings to the corporates who are implementing it in their payroll, and you're giving added value and as you said, an HR benefit for those who work for them, the employees. So, yeah, I love where this is going. My question is sort of, do you think, given that you're effectively disintermediating banks, what's the bank's response, and the MoneyGram's response and the Western Union? They're all trying to quickly get into this market. How do you think that you'll stay ahead? What's your defensive barrier? What are you going to do? Because they have big deep pockets. They can acquire places. They can do things. They have a good distribution network. How do you think they're going to try and protect their moat?
Well, banks entering the space is actually a net positive for companies like Zebec for a variety of reasons. Number one, the more banks that now issue and transact with stablecoins means that we can tap an even larger number of corporates in the US. That's the first benefit. If you're using the community bank on Main Street and they're not offering stablecoin, well, it's a little bit more tricky for you to be doing stablecoin payroll with Zebec. So we're going to see more and more banks opt in, which opens us up to a much bigger share of the $11 trillion in annual US payroll volume.
So there it is right there. So Rami said it. You don't need a bank if you have Zebec and the super app. The really nice part is you're the genesis of payroll. The moment someone works, they're getting streamed their pay. So with the Zebec super app, you're largely in control of where that money is going to go. And Simon has no worry about the banks. He thinks that more banks are going to opt in. And today, well, that happened. It happened in a really large way. Okay. And shout out to everybody who's here. Let me go see who's in the crowd here. What's up, WF Financial, WF Capital Management? What's up, Forever Foreign? What's up, King Pound? Give me the questions at the end, guys, like we normally do here. But let's continue on. We had this big set of news here from Open Standard, introducing Open USD, a stablecoin built for the internet economy, designed by the businesses growing it. Literally over 140 companies have come together to build the stablecoin, one of which being MoneyGram, and you see their posts there. Some infrastructure is too important to build alone. More than 140 companies have come together behind Open USD. Because shared infrastructure accelerates innovation. This is how the internet is scaled. We believe it's how money movement will scale too. there's Open Standard, there's Crypto.com, there's Kite, there's Tempo, there's Plasma, there's Digital Asset, Canton, right? There's MoonPay, there's Human Finance, there's Fireblocks, there's Aave, there's OnePay. When we connected OnePay and Walmart to Cross River Bank, which is also one that is on the list to Walmart and XRP, and they're also on the list. Just so many companies, which we're going to go over right now. Aptos, okay? It's just so many companies here. And we're going to connect some of these to Zebec like we have in the past. Here is the full list. It's literally such a big list that I just went through and highlighted some companies that are related to Zebec, right? Like, we definitely don't have to read the entire list, but let's read some of the ones I've highlighted. Visa, Stripe, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Fiserv, Cloudflare, Jack Henry, Affirm, Ramp, OnePay, Checkout.com, PayPal, Western Union, right? MoneyGram, BlackRock, BNY Mellon, Standard Chartered, Commonwealth Bank of Australia, Sumitomo Mitsui Financial Group. Why did I highlight them? Because they are an investor in Securitize, which we'll get to them in just a second. Mizuho Financial Group, Shinhan Financial, SoFi, Kakao Bank, Samsung. Okay. Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank, ADIB, Cross River Bank, The Bancorp, Google, Samsung Electronics, IBM, Shopify, Mercado Libre, Mercado Pago, Infosys, DoorDash, Wix, Grab, Rakuten Group, Coinbase, Tempo, right? Bybit, Solana, Base, OKX, Ripple, Crypto.com, Fireblocks, Gemini, MetaMask, Aave, eToro, Galaxy, Ledger, MoonPay, Anchorage Digital, Digital Asset, Trust Wallet, Meow, Morpho, EtherFi, Lightspark, Zero Hash, Bitso, Bridge, Rain, Bank, Mesh, Privy, BitGet, Wallet, Yellow Card, Reap, Braille, which is Canton connected, Redot Pay, Immersive, Stellar, Polygon, Aptos, Plasma, Cast, Blossom, and Lemon. So many. And I didn't even read like some. I can see some that I missed, like Chime, Huntington Bank. Like, there's so many, guys. DBS Bank, BBVA. There's so many partners here. And as Simon said, the more adoption we get, well, this is just like blanket adoption. But if you've been paying attention to channels like mine, shout out to my Coin Vault crew, Maximus, shout out to Crypto Future, shout out to Rob, shout out to Crux, shout out to those guys. If you've been paying attention to these channels, you'll know that a lot of these guys have been in crypto the entire and whole time. So it's just literally everyone who's saying that they're connected, and building one blanket stable coin that everyone can communicate with between the group, right? So again, Simon has told us this. I just shared Rob Haddock of Dragonfly, who's some of the companies that he's actually funded on here were on the list. Mesh and Rain, right? We just saw those two were on the list. We know Near Protocols, another one he's funded, and as well as Ava Labs and Polygon, which I think they were also on the list. So Dragonfly is really into the stablecoin game. All right. So this open standard is very, very huge when it comes to adoption. All the things that we've been talking about on this channel, as far as agentic AI, as far as streaming payments, as far as robotics, it's all coming together in what happened here today, right? And because of price, some people will snooze on this, not understanding that this is the infrastructure that they need to put into place before the price happens. Okay. So if you're going to be one of the ones in the comments that are going to say, well, what about the price? Well, this is what happens before the price. Okay. This is what happens before the price. I love that comment from Tevin King here. Well, looks like I got to buy more SoFi stock tomorrow. I feel you, brother. I feel you, brother. My man. Let's look at you, my man, for that one. Where are my sound effects? One.
My man.
Indeed, with that SoFi stock, right? So yeah, SoFi is on the list for sure. But yeah, we'll get to all the comments at the end here. So let's kind of recap some of the things that we know are connected to Zebec. Well, by the way, I just want to show you some people giving love to this post of open standard. JV from Zebec, he's giving love to this post. So obviously, again, even Zebec is acknowledging that this is he gives the eyes post, right? Simon Taylor of Tempo, right? And we know Tempo is connected to Zebec, is giving love to this post, right? And we'll read a little bit of what he says. Breaking 100 plus companies just back open USD, a dollar stable coin run by new independent company Open Standard. Zach Abrams is interim CEO. 5-minute reaction and personal views only. The instinct is to count the logos. When you see a lot of them, the design choices matter much more. No mint or redemption fees by default. No arbitrary caps when you scale from 10K to 10 million. Reserve yields shared by default. Issuers use to keep it. Wow, that's some great alpha from Simon Taylor here. Thank you, Simon. Those Simons be giving good alpha out. Shout out to Simon Babacani. Shout out to Simon Taylor. This is clearly about scale and going after the larger institutional grade payments volume. Indeed. Just give all that alpha out. Open Standard runs like a financial market infrastructure. It reminds me more of things like Swift. Gotta love that. The card networks, the clearinghouses owned broadly, governed by a board, a little boring on purpose. Credible neutrality is the whole game. One company's coin is a product. One company's coin is a product. A coin 100 competitors agree to share becomes a standard. Well, I don't know if he wrote this or AI wrote this, but it's damn good. I gotta say, it's darn good. The cap tables of Swift and the early clearinghouses were the incumbents of their day in one room. This rhymes. Look at the breadth too. Banks, card networks, crypto natives, fintechs, big techs, all on one coin. A global PSP, a community bank, an international long tail player. Everyone finds an animal in the picture that looks like them. The breadth is ultra significant bit. Okay, wow. Great piece of work there. In that paragraph. For the stable coins to go beyond their current use cases, we needed something that got rid of the penalties for scale, like mint, burn fees, and something that can handle massive volume. Today's stablecoin use cases are a rounding error against what's coming. with approximately 300 billion in circulation. Swift instructs an average of 5 to 6 trillions a day. The card network settle trillions. Capital markets settle quadrillions. The prize is moving those flows on chain 24/7 with settlement guarantees regulated money actually needs. So very, very great in what he's saying there. And remember, this is coming from a guy who's a big player at Tempo, and Tempo was just designed for payments specifically, right? So this means a lot coming from this person in particular. So I'm going to read it one more time. Today's stablecoin use cases are a rounding error against what's coming, with approximately 300 billion in circulation. Swift instructs an average of 5 to 6 trillions a day. The card network settled trillions. Capital markets quadrillions. The prize is moving those flows on chain 24/7 with settlement guarantees regulated money actually needs. And this goes a lot of the way of doing this. Again, going back here, let me just finish this out. If you build payments, capital markets, or treasury, this is the Rails question of the decade. Read the design sources first. The logo wall is the easy story. Okay, gotcha. So to me, I think this, this is the Rails question, right? It's all of that. It's payments, capital markets, and treasury. It's every bit of those. It's all three of those. And you can see that this is definitely a multicultural or global solution, if you will, with the companies represented here. You got Japanese banks, you got Chinese banks, you got Arab banks, you got American banks, you have payroll providers of all types. Like everybody's pretty much represented here. Samsung, Korea with Kakao Bank, you got everybody. South Africa, the entire world is represented in this open coin standard, right? And this is what we need for adoption, as Simon said earlier. Simon Babakani, that is, man, this is the rails. These are the rails we need to move everything forward. Hands down, period, shut the door. Okay. But just to remind you of some things that Zebec is already in and some partners they already have. Well, years ago, we brought you this, that Zebec is debuting in Japan. They definitely did debut in Japan with payment and real-time payroll services. We know here, and some of the stuff that in this article are going to let you know why I was never like really worried about a stellar partnership. I knew because of what was going on. And just the fact of connecting Zebec to Japan, we know XRP has a large presence in Japan. And even in this article, it says that their wage link and advanced payroll technology is a partnership with Circle and Stellar. And when was this article written? January 8th, 2024. Okay. So there it is, right? Zebec Instant Card, a groundbreaking payment offering supported globally by Visa and MasterCard, now enables spending in both USD and Japanese yen. Okay. Zebec founded with investments by Circle, Coinbase, Solana, Brayer Capital. We've been over this before. DST Global, Lightspeed Ventures, which we know is an investor in XRP, among others. Okay, so there's that. We also know, if we take a look at the company Securitize, we got the, it's kind of hard to see here, but the Tomo Mitsuho company that we mentioned there earlier. I think Nomura might have been in the list here. Let's see. Ripple was definitely in that list. I don't know that I named them, but they were in the list. SBI was as well. So you can see some securitized connections here, right? As far as the investors of securitized go. Circle, I think, was also mentioned there. BlackRock, Ava Labs, Aptos, all of these guys mentioned here in Securitize. A lot of them mentioned over here as accepting this universal standard. And where is Ripple? I know I saw them in this list. I got a few more that I need to highlight here. But let me just do the search here. Find Ripple. There they are. OKX and Ripple. Crypto.com, Flyerbox, Gemini, MetaMask. You name it, right? So there's that. Want to remind you as well what MasterCard just did with Agentic AI for Agent Pay. A lot of the members in this list are also on that list, right? Where MasterCard launched Agent Pay for machines to unlock super fast, always on payments. So this has implications also with this open standard. You can now do agentic AI easier. You can now communicate to machines easier. And it involves a lot of the people that were on that list, like Bank, like Cloudflare, like Coinbase, like Stripe, like Tempo, like OKX. I think Santander and Global Payments were also on this list, on that list as well. So again, has agentic AI payment connections as well. And here, just to remind you that Zebec is partnered with Zero Hash. We don't have to listen to that. We have in the past here. Also, one scantily or little known fact, and I think this is still true. I had to pop back into the Wayback Machine showing the Zebec website from December 12, 2024. You can see that their cards are backed by MasterCard, but they're issued by Bancorp. Bancorp was also on that open standard list. And Bancorp is also an investor in Stronghold. Let's pull that up for you. Stronghold, you see here, Frank Mastrangelo, co-founder of the Bancorp Bank. Betsy Cohen, okay, Cohen. Of course, we know with the name Cohen. Let's bring up Mr. Kanye here.
I'm not going to say what race, what people. We know I can't say that.
Of course, Miss Cohen. Shout out to her. So Bancorp again, and SoFi here with Stronghold as well. I think, and this is Daniel Macklin personally is invested, not SoFi himself, but this is his credentials. He is co-founder of SoFi, but he may be either an advisor or investor in Stronghold. They don't make a distinction of which is which, but here we go. SoFi, Bancorp. You can see all of these people are connected in here. And of course, we know Stronghold also has connections to IBM. All right. They have connections to IBM. So again, we can see this going deep, if you will, right? All the way down to this level here with the Cohens and the Bancorps of the world and the SoFis of the world. Yeah. So there's that. And then just one more video to tie it home before we go into questions, in which we'll see mentioned in the video, I believe that the co-founder here of what's going on here with Open Standard, Zach Abrams, okay, in his older role. So we'll see what his role was before this in this video coming up here. And this video was only from a month ago. Shout out to Bloomberg for this video. Let's go ahead and play it here. Let me make sure I have it at the right spot, though. Okay, go. Okay, got it.
Currencies, it's sometimes hard to sort out the crypto noise from the signal. But whatever the reality behind all the hype, there is one particular version of cryptocurrency that is growing in use, that seeks to deliver on the promise of combining the speed and ease of blockchain with the relative stability of currencies, and that you may be using without even knowing it. According to supporters, 2025 was the year of the stablecoin.
In 5 years or 10 years, the overwhelming majority of the payments that happen in the world, just by sheer number of payments, are happening via stablecoins.
It can be fundamental to changing not just the financial system, but the way the broader economic system works.
And as of last year, the stablecoin subset of crypto now has the regulatory backing of the US.
This could be perhaps the greatest revolution in financial technology since the birth of the internet itself. A lot of people are saying that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yes?
The answer to President Trump's question may lie in the wallets of people around the world who simply want to send money across national borders. According to Bloomberg Intelligence, the total amount of money sent using stablecoins will reach over $56 trillion by 2030. But however big it ultimately gets, it's starting small, with many people sending just a few $100s at a time. People like Hannah Nicole Danoy.
I have been living in New York for 8 years, and I am a restaurant manager. I send money home to the Philippines, I would say about like between $500 to $1,000 a month. I prefer sending money home through apps like WorldRemit or Remitly.
Danoy is one of 2 million Filipinos living abroad. Together, they sent $35 billion back to the Philippines in 2025, equal to over 7% of the country's GDP. For Wei Zhou, the CEO of Philippine-based CoinsPH, this is stablecoin's biggest opportunity.
10 years ago, the cost of remittance for every dollar, it was 8%. With technology, with better connectivity and banking rails, that cost went down to like 2 to 4%. By using stablecoins, we can lower that cost to anywhere between 0.5% or 50 bips. And we hope to lower that even to like 20 to 30 bips. When you're running $40 billion of remittance, for every 1% that you save, that's like $400 million that goes back into the people's pockets right away.
CoinsPH partners with online money transfer platforms to bring stablecoins to users' wallets. It partners with, among others, Remitly. Its CEO is Sebastian Gunningham.
Every time that you do a send transaction, we have a transaction engine that chooses the best way to send that money at low cost and at speed. So we use the stablecoin's rails. The machine decides, is the stablecoin rails better, faster, cheaper than any alternative? And therefore we use it. So we're adopting it where it makes sense, where it beats price, where it beats speed.
This process is called a stablecoin sandwich. A user in the US deposits dollars with Remitly, which converts the funds into stablecoins. These stablecoins travel instantly across a blockchain to CoinsPH in the Philippines, where they are converted into local pesos. Although users can hold the stablecoins in a digital wallet, for most, the blockchain path is entirely invisible. Customers interact only with the dollars at one end and the pesos at the other end, enjoying the speed of crypto without the complexity of managing it. We have crypto, we have stablecoins. There's been a fair amount of volatility in cryptocurrencies. Does that affect stablecoins?
For stablecoins, it is moving towards sort of, just another word for money. Stablecoins are a type of crypto. right? But it's sort of like it has grown out of crypto and can be its own segment now.
What do you regard as your largest opportunity for growth?
Basically lowering the transaction cost and then decreasing the transaction time to move money in and out of the Philippines. I think right now what we see is that there's like almost 15 to 20 million Filipinos that work overseas, either as domestic helpers, work on cruise liners, as factory workers in the Middle East and Korea.
We're going to skip ahead because there's an important part to hear here. Right here.
$150 billion to $300 billion today. It's doubling, which by any measure is...
I can go back a little bit. Sorry. Here we go.
So a small amount right now. How does it compare with last year? And how does it compare with forecasts for next year?
The data shows that the volume of real payment transactions using stablecoins probably doubled over the last year. When you look at the volume of stablecoins in circulation, that went from around $150 billion to $300 billion today. It's doubling, which by any measure is substantial in terms of growth.
How much of that is cross-border, international, essentially? How much of it is domestic?
The vast majority is cross-border. It's interesting, we've been looking at the geographic source of those payments with our research partner, Artemis Analytics. What they found is about 60% originates from Asia. And that surprised us a little bit because a lot of the talk has been in North America or Europe about the potential of stablecoins.
Asia was one of the first.
Okay, so one of the parts he said there was basically here is that there's a lot of stablecoin volume, but a lot of that volume, like 99% of that volume, is just with cryptocurrency at the moment. Okay. Now, with a deal like what happened today here, right, where all of these companies, all these banks have a open standard now, literally, pun intended, to be able to use a stable coin, and they have an open standard that will communicate between all of them. You got to believe that distribution of 99% of it being cryptocurrency only value now really changes to all areas of life, with all of these different companies coming aboard and adopting this standard. You got to believe that, let me share the screen here. You got to believe with all of these companies coming aboard and sharing the standard that it's going to be more than just crypto. Of course, we know that Tempo basically built their machine payments protocol for that usage, that, you know, Stripe and Visa would use their platform and it wouldn't necessarily be crypto only payments, right? So we already know that Tempo is building for that use case. And we heard from Simon Taylor of Tempo, right? So that little 300 billion number is going to be drastically increased in the next couple of years with the advent of AI agents, with what MasterCard is doing with the AI agents, with there finally being an open standard that all of these different coins can use, all of these different companies can use. Like, this is very big news. And I think people are going to sleep on it because the price of XRP or name your favorite coin is low right now, right? People are going to miss this news and not realize that right now, and well, hell, if Bitcoin falls even lower, is the time to accumulate. Shout out to Crux of Crypto. I agree with him in that, hey, DCA the whole way down, bro. DCA the whole way down. But you know, not financial advice, but buy, because it's low right now. And if it goes lower, so the hell what? You just buy lower, right? But the thing you don't want to do is miss out, okay? And we'll be talking about what can happen if you miss out. We'll be talking about that in future shows, okay? Because people, I don't think people truly understand how dire it's going to get here coming up soon. But I digress. Let's continue here. So huge news from Zebec. Let's get into some of these comments. Shout out to Longview Compute in the house. He says, how about that Canton ecosystem, Rue? Of course, Canton is connected, of course, right? And that digital asset, right, is one of the companies mentioned here. Let's pull that up. Why don't we? So this definitely has Canton implications as well. Okay, they are part of that open standard, and of course they would be, right? Because they're the institutional, not institutional coin, right? Right out here. And institutions, quiet as it's kept, they want stable coins to happen. Again, like we were talking about on the Coin Vault, shout out to Crypto Future, shout out to Maximus Crypto, shout out to Crypto Crux. DID, okay? DID is going to happen. And DID is going to happen with, in case you don't know what DID is digital identity, is going to happen with these stable coins. And quiet as it's kept, I believe that's going to become a requirement, right? It's going to become a requirement that you digitally identify, right? And in a certain case, in certain ways, we kind of have to identify now. Like if you go to the bank and you get out over $1,000, they will ask you to show your license, right? So in certain ways, we do kind of have to do this already, but it's now just going to be at the digital level, right? And it'll be with every transaction as opposed to just those over $1,000, right? But let's get into some of these comments. Thank you for the $10 super chat, brother. Really appreciate it. What's up, WF Capital Management? WF Capital Management might have the biggest bag of Zebec out here. Pause. Shout out to you, brother. Bro's leaving with something out here.
Yeah. I see a big tray. I'm leaving here with something. You know what I mean? I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something.
Shout out, Denzel. Let's go. Rue, what's up, Forever Foreign? Brother Rue, I'm buying dips today. Let's go. King Pound understands the mission. He knows the mission in here. Shout out to King Pound. And soon you buy the dips, and then soon, there's the fries, and then that's when the big bucks come in.
Soon I'll be on fries, then the grill. A year or two, I make assistant manager. And that's where the big bucks start rolling in.
Shout out to Eddie Murphy and Louis Anderson there. What's going on, everyone? What's up, Milk Money? Hope all is well. This is it. Rolling with Toshi's in the house. Tyran Copeland in the house. Definitely like and subscribe, guys, if you appreciate this information. We're on our way to 10K subscribers. We had a lot of subscribers in the last week here. I think people are really feeling the Canton content. So I will provide more Canton content for sure to you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming through. That one guy, my boo-roo. What's up, my man? Appreciate it, brother. But what do you mean?
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
Shout out to you, that one guy. I appreciate you. William Davis, a member. Appreciate it. What up, Rue? How's it going, Rue? What's up, Dave F. Jr.? What's up, Sagir Muhammad Sheriff? Appreciate you coming through, brother. I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. Just another great day in Scottsdale. DCA indeed. Shout out to E. He's our moderator in Telegram. And he's a Rue Crew member of the Patreon. Shout out to the Patreon. I did an exclusive. Definitely check out the video I put out on Hecto today. Another Canton coin here. All of my pre-records get live streamed to the Patreon. would you know it, I was live streaming to the Patreon. I did this video at 12 o'clock, around 12 o'clock Arizona time, and 7 or 8 of my Patreon people were up and in that live. I seriously thought there would be no one in that live, and there were 8 people. Shout out to the Patreon members out here. They're really trying to get that bag, in which E is one of them. So is Marcus Garvey. Appreciate you. So is Nosy Neighbor. I think they were both up. Shout out to the Root Crew in here, always showing up strong. What's up, Tevin King? I cannot wait until ZBCN takes off to the moon. Indeed. Brief rundown on SoFi stock, please. Well, SoFi stock is one of the only stocks, or one of the only fintechs that's a national bank in the US, and it's one of the only fintechs with its own stablecoin, right? So a lot of these companies that are involved here actually do kind of have their own stablecoins, right? And SoFi, we know, Ripple, Circle, a lot of the people in this open standard actually have their own stablecoin. So it makes sense that they would just be like, okay, well, just include us in the open standard. Because honestly, I believe underneath all of these stable coins is Ripple's RLUSD, quiet as a scout. I truly believe that. I truly believe that Ripple's stablecoin is underneath all of them. And they're just putting an extra wrapper on these, if you will, an adapter class to just say, okay, now instead of Ripple RLUSD, you're now open standard USD. You know what I mean? But you know, that's neither here nor there. I can't exactly prove that, but that's my hunch as a coder, myself. But anyways, so still very, very huge news here. But yeah, we'll have to talk about SoFi more on the Patreon side, because that's where we discuss stocks. So if you guys are interested in learning about stocks, I only discuss that on the Patreon side, because this is a crypto channel. It started as a stock channel, but I don't get those views anymore. So that's on Patreon side only. So Nosy Neighbor, definitely we'll have that discussion in the Patreon, brother. I love you too, bro. What's up, Sagir Muhammad? Fourth quarter will be huge. I agree with that, King Pound. Indeed, I do. What's up, Samson of LA? Ahoy, mateys. What's up, Longview Compute in the house? We got to do another collab, Longview. That last one was fire, but for some reason I just kept slouching. I don't know what it was that day. So I'll definitely have better posture the next interview, the next collaboration we do, brother. Shout out to you for coming through. Arg. From King Pound. This rhymes is definitely AI. Okay, but was that from Simon? Simon Taylor, that is. Tyran Copeland. 0.5 cent Zebec, and I'm satisfied with the short term. Indeed, short term and long term bag for me. Indeed, I got a short term and long term bag of Zebec as well that I keep. The long term bag I continue to stake, and I tell you what, that long term bag is a couple million. I don't want to dox my bag, but there's a couple million that I'm not selling. Okay, so but you know, that bag not doxed, but there's definitely a couple million that I continue to stake and will not be selling. What's up, SVJ? SVJ 1025. Appreciate you, brother, for coming through. And I see a lot of your comments on the video, so thank you for commenting on the videos. It definitely helps spread them around there. What's up, Vibra Finance in the house? Let's go. Definitely check out Vibra Finance's channel. We'll have to highlight that too here at the end here. Another great creator in the house. King Pound bought SHX 82% down from 1 year ago. Prices are outrageous right now. We still feel like we're going lower. ZBCN no lower than 0.0018. Yeah, I agree with that. And yeah, I'm down on my SHX too. Yeah, it seems like SHX is highly manipulated, but the connections are there. But the coin itself, at this point, we got a question: will they ever give value? I certainly do think they will, because they put some of it in escrow, right? So, but when is that day that they're going to actually let it have value and let it fly? I don't know, but I'm just going to keep that stronghold holding, right? Because given the escrow, there's not too much movement. There's not too much movement that needs to happen for a stronghold to go to a pretty big price. So a couple million stronghold will definitely just tide you over and possibly make you a 100,000-aire to millionaire in the future. I firmly believe that. Not financial advice, but my money's where my mouth is. I definitely have interest and investment in stronghold. Can institutions use Zebec technology without the need of the ZBCN coin, much like Ripple Prime, RippleNet? Can they use their service tech without the need of XRP, the coin? So yes, companies could use Zebec's technology without using the coin. However, for the people that are using Zebec's tech via Zebec, according to their technology, or excuse me, according to their tokenomics, if they're using it without using Zebec, they're using it with stablecoins, the fees automatically convert over to Zebec once they're using it in stablecoin. So let's go ahead and bring up those tokenomics. This is very important to note. Let me share it right here. Actually, we'll use this one. And let's bring up the tokenomics. So they say it right here. Institutional clients and employers using Zebec's payroll platform are required to pay for services and product fees in ZBCN. However, employers may either hold ZBCN directly to cover those fees, or the most important part, use stablecoin balances, which are automatically converted into ZBCN at the time fees are assessed. So anyone using this open standard stablecoin and they use it for payroll on Zebec's platform, it will just automatically convert the fees into ZBCN. So the way that they did that with the tokenomics is great, because now any one of these members using their payroll platform will now contribute to ZBCN, like liquidity into the coin ZBCN, right? Just by using their payroll platform and this stablecoin. But does Zebec have also white labeled products? Yes, Zebec does have white label products. No. So them just using stable coins is fine. It will just convert over to ZBCN in the use of the payroll platform. So that part is fine. And let me know, SVJ, that I explained that well and that's understood. 90 people watching, only 30 likes. What the heck, people? Yeah, definitely hits the likes. It helps expand the show, and it helps get the show out to other people, right? When is the mobile app? July 1st, tomorrow. Yeah. So maybe we get some announcement tomorrow. Or maybe we get the announcement closer to what's coming up with the tokenization happening with the BTCC. Who knows? But we shall see. But they did already kind of tell us that, Tyran Copeland, they did already tell us that, hey, we've submitted it to Apple and Google. They gave us that announcement. So again, I think they're telling us it's done, but we're just waiting for the regulators to clear it. That's what it sounds like to me. See how that works? Keep them popping. Thank you, Longview Compute. I appreciate that, brother. Hit the like. It's free. Indeed. Indeed. 99 spectators and only 13 likes. Zebec is waiting for Apple and Android approval. Let me see here. I think I think there's an overlay where you can just say like the stream. Where is that overlay? So I need to start pounding that overlay for the like here. There we go. Yeah, let me add that right quick. Yeah, yeah, there we go. We got the overlay in. Okay. So let's continue on in our comments. Okay. Yep, Zebec is waiting for Apple and Android approval. See, yep, that's exactly what we said earlier there. Shout out from the QU. Where's the QU? There goes a Hondo. Keep it rocking. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Appreciate it. 87 haters are scared to support the like button. Haters. We got to give them the Denzel.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay. All right. I'm putting cases on all you bitches.
You motherfuckers. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. You're not going to hit the like button? I'm putting cases on all you bitches. No. Shout out to Denzel there. The anticipation for the video. Hope it wasn't too bad for you there. Salute Rue in the chat. What's up, Carlton Way 1? Free. Like. 35 billion. Wow. There are those who watch things happen and those who make things happen. So hit that like for sure. Western Union made a killing all those years ago. Yes, indeed, they did. And they are a part of this deal as well. If we go down here and show you, Western Union is definitely in this list. Did I pass them? There they are, right in the middle there. And MoneyGram, of course. Seems like everything will settle in stable coins and not native assets. So how do native gas coins accrue value from holders? Well, I think it'll be something like what Zebec just has right there, like what I showed you with the tokenomics. Like everything ultimately can be spent in stable coins, but then the fees are automatically converted into the coin. Right. So I think this is exactly how RLUSD works with XRP as well. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's how it works as well. Yep, transaction fees, 100%. Shout out to patron Marcus Garvey here. But the transaction fees are so low. XRP and XLM are a big example of this. They don't really affect coin price. Now, when you think about the Zebec, though, and you think about people being paid in real time globally, then that will have a true effect, right? And that's why I played that video. And let me play it again, right? Just that in part. Because what's very profound about that is that everything's kind of regulated to crypto now. And we got things like the machine payments protocol that are going to come across and change this. So we get a whole bunch of liquidity. But again, I think waiting on the Clarity Act to kind of happen, and maybe this is a precursor, right? Maybe things like this, deals like this happening is a precursor to the Clarity Act happening. So let's share this one more time and listen to what they say here.
Conduit, we can actually be able to deliver financial services that they need at home here in the Philippines while working overseas.
Last year, some estimates put the volume of stablecoin transactions at around $35 trillion. But a new report from McKinsey's Matt Higginson suggests the reality is much more modest.
How large is the stablecoin market right now, and how fast is it growing?
So you'll hear in the media the trillions of dollars of stablecoin payments today. 99% of that is crypto related, not the sort of payments we think about, which is company to company or even paying remittances person to person. And so we look at this situation today and say, how much real payments volume is there out there? And we think it's probably the order of $1 billion or $2 billion a day, which is tiny. The latest estimates we have are $390 billion in the total year. And that compares with several trillion dollars of regular payments per day.
So a small amount right now. How does it compare with last year, and how does it compare with forecasts for next year?
The data shows that the volume of real payment transactions using stablecoins probably doubled over the last year. When you look at the volume of stablecoins in circulation, that went from around $150 billion to $300 billion today. It's doubling, which by any measure is substantial in terms of growth.
How much of that is cross-border, international essentially? How much of it is domestic?
The vast majority is cross-border. It's interesting, we've been looking at the geographic source of those payments with our research partner, Artemis Analytics. What they found is about 60% originates from Asia. And that surprised us a little bit because a lot of the talk has been in North America or Europe about the potential of stablecoins.
Asia was one of the first regions to recognize the utility of stablecoin.
So, and just to remind you guys of this machine payments protocol, open standard for machine payments co-authored by Tempo and Stripe, is designed to be extensible and agnostic to any payment method, okay? So Tempo, which they're a part of this open standard as well, right? So now they open the door for anybody still using the old system to come right above on board and put their liquidity in with the stable coins, right? So now that this is kind of a thing, I think we see this volume pick up even more, right? And I like that Bloomberg, I got to give them credit on this. They were very objective in that they said, okay, well, you know, most of this volume is crypto volume, but it has doubled over, you know, the last 2 years, right? And that's a lot. That's a lot. Now imagine something like this open standard, and then we get the Clarity Act, because we just got Genius not too long ago, right? And Genius helped make this even better and even bigger. Then we get the Clarity Act, and we have this open standard. Man, it's open season, right? And then add in the agentic AI, the AI agents, right? Shut the door. Like we're on the precipice of, like, we're right at the edge of mass adoption, right? So don't be priced. Don't let the low price basically price you out in a negative way. And like, oh, it's gonna go down more, and you know, I'm not buying, and all of this other stuff. Like, we're really on like 2 steps away from a mass adoption where these systems are going to turn on and all the liquidity is going to come in, right? But again, with coins like Zebec, they're actually getting liquidity from the stable coins, which is one of the things I've been kind of preaching about on the Coin Vault. Like coins like Zebec, which are actually getting fee revenue from these stable coins, are the coins that are going to actually win when it comes to the next crypto market. Coins like this that are getting revenue from stable coins and actually passing that revenue along to their token, these are the coins that are going to definitely win when it comes to next the next crypto market. And coins that are on really great narratives that generate a lot of money, like prediction markets, hello, hype, right? And that's why I'm kind of high on Hecto. Check out that video I did earlier today because it's doing pre-IPO predictions, right? Pre-IPO predictions. Definitely check out that video I did earlier on Hecto. That's why I'm pretty high on them, because that narrative, the whole prediction market narrative. Also why I'm high on Edel, because Edel's going to be doing perps, stock market perps. Another reason I'm high on them. But yeah, but also coins that are going to get stablecoin value, shifted in their direction. Yeah, they're going to win big time. So that's why we're also very high on the Metallicus ecosystem. Introduced that to Max and the Coin Vault and crew, right? And so I am also high on things like Stronghold and others. But of course, the Patreon, you know what I'm talking about. You Patreon people know what I'm talking about. We talk about lists in there all day long. But let's continue. What's up, RL John in the house. Let me say the name. RLJJHN. Crew in the house. Appreciate it. They can have millions of transactions in a day, and the coins won't accrue value by fees or burns. Well, the liquidity will come in. Zebec also has the buybacks. So they have the buybacks there, and they just have sheer liquidity, right? In that the stablecoin balances are automatically converted into ZBCN at the time the fees are assessed. People are always working. So how can that not increase the token value, both with buybacks and with liquidity in the coin? I don't see any way that doesn't increase the token value. And yes, Zebec is fully distributed. It's fully distributed. It's fully out there. What's up, Purple Rain? As we hit the 216 member watching mark, which is 6 times 6 times 6 out here for those who love numbers. When it's red, we buy. Indeed. DCA is the way. 0.00218 for Zebec here. What's up, Shawnee Sean 06? Appreciate you. I missed the first half of ZBCN breaking news. What did they do exactly? Well, the breaking news is that this open coin standard, this open stable coin standard, will make it easier for Zebec to do streaming payroll. That's it in a nutshell. Via all of these companies that are worldwide companies, and like Simon Taylor mentioned, we got fintechs, we got a plethora of companies here. Let me see if I can find his post, or did I close it? Yeah, we got a plethora of companies here. All these companies will just help more liquidity for Zebec. I played Simon Babakani mentioning that earlier with the Stablecoin podcast. It's an excellent day if you're a Zebec holder. And if you're a holder of some of the other coins we mentioned, like this is a brilliant day for you. Let me go see if I can pull up that Simon Taylor post again. Okay, here it is. Yeah, there he says, look at the breadth too. Banks, card networks, crypto natives, fintechs, big tech, on one coin, a global PSP, a community bank, an international long tail player, everyone finds an animal in the picture that looks like them. The breath is the ultra significant bit. Very, very, very cool there. Like, that can't be understated. You got everybody connected here, from the SoFis to the Ripples to the BNY Mellon banks to everybody. Like, I think Santander is also on this list. Mizuho, Shinhan Financial Group, which Shinhan I think is connected to Hedera, right? There's just so much. There's so many people I can mention here. Yeah. Let's keep going here. X and CB making their own stable coins, but I think that helps a lot with our bags. Send it, indeed. 31 million from WF Capital Management. Oh man. 15 mil staked. Let's go. Rule, do you hold any XEN? Yes, I do hold XEN. I have it staking on the XEN wallet, but yes, I do hold XEN. Got to read the tokenomics of each and get an idea of when their supply is maxed out and how profits are reinvested into the burn-offs, and also how much of the supply is controlled by the company, so they have incentive. Yep. Canton ecosystem on fire. Indeed. Yeah, I can't wait for Zenith too. I really like I cannot wait for Zenith, right? And it'd be amazing to interview anyone connected to Zenith. Like, I hope you or I or somebody, Coin Vault, interviews Heslin Kim. That would be so interesting to have an interview with him. Yeah, I would love to be just like a part of that, or even just to watch it. That would be amazing. King Pound 0.00217. It'd be interesting if it just drops to 0.00216 and that's the bottom. I have to do some more research. I'm trying to understand how stablecoin usage on the network benefits ZBCN and the coin. Thanks for that info. Well, directly from their tokenomics, they're telling you any stablecoin that is used on their payroll system automatically transfers those stablecoin balances into ZBCN at the time fees are assessed. So be it RLUSD, be it Open Standard USD, be it USD1 from World Liberty Financial, be it Euro AU, the all Unity stablecoin, be it whatever stablecoin is used, any stablecoin balances are automatically converted into ZBCN at the time fees are assessed. And that also directly contributes to the buyback. All right. So to me, that's two avenues to feed the token price right there. Hugo loves Monica Long. What is up? What up, Rue? What do you expect ZBCN's price to drop to when Bitcoin makes its next leg down? Well, we shall see here. I have no expectations, but I know King Pound put in here 0.0018. But I have no expectations. I leave that to like really big chart guys like Rob and Crux and things like that. I don't know if we get to a next level down. I'm just gonna buy the whole way through because right now it's low. Maybe we never hit the next leg down. I don't know. Coming up, I know we have catalysts of the tokenization of the DTCC, right? So could we get a next leg down? Or could we not get the next leg down? Either way, I think I'm heading for the future, and the future is that these stable coins are getting adopted. If we hit another leg down, it's irrelevant to me. That's just me personally. But let's continue on here. Thanks, Rue, for your research. Rolling with Toshis. Zebec. BTC's tapped 57K. Yeah, I know some people are thinking, I know Longview said he was thinking like 37K. I know someone said 40K. I don't know. I think that would be kind of irregular to me. But again, irregular stuff is what happens. Generally, how it's gone is that Bitcoin touches the last all-time high that was created. The last all-time high created was 70K, and we're already beyond that, right? So if Bitcoin goes down to 40K, that would be kind of abnormal. But who knows, man? Like, no cycle happens like the previous cycle. That's just what happens. So if we hit 40, I wouldn't be surprised. But I definitely would think if we did hit 40 to 37K, that would be it. That would be the last low. But maybe we never do. I don't know. We'll see. What's up, Rue? Just entered. What's up, Hitter All Day? I wipe my feet at the door by smacking out of that like button. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Hitter All Day. What's up, Rue Crew? Digital Money. What's going on? The crew knows engagement helps the channel grow. Indeed. Thank you, Longview. Appreciate that, brother. SVJ, what's going on? Triple lights there. New Brew 69, great live. Stacking just reached the 1 million 20 minutes ago. Crossing my fingers here. Armenia, Colombia. Let's go. Oh, Armenia and Colombia. those are some two places I would love to visit. For some great reasons. Hitter All Day. WF Capital Dave King, giving some love to WF Capital Dave and King Pound. Always appreciate the weekly gems you've been dropping for free, Rue. Appreciate that, Tevin King. Thanks for covering the tokenomics, Rue. Appreciate it. No problem at all. Welcome back, Jack. What's going on, Phantom Beat? FYI, I just posted this. Imagine Zebec also adding open USD to their payroll stack. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I think they're adding it to their stack, or is added to their stack, because JV of Zebec, he did say eyes to this, right? So I fully think, because Ripple and Stellar Technology underpin what Zebec does, that it doesn't matter. Like, they can, any stable coin they can use. And Simon pretty much said as much. I'll just replay that here for you guys to hear. Let me make sure I'm on the right spot in here. He like pretty much literally said it here.
You're effectively disintermediating banks. What's the bank's response, and the MoneyGram's response and the Western Union? They're all trying to quickly get into this market. How do you think that you'll stay ahead? What's your defensive barrier? What are you going to do? Because they have big deep pockets. They can acquire places. They can do things. They have a good distribution network. How do you think they're going to try and protect their moat?
Well, banks entering the space is actually a net positive for companies like Zebec for a variety of reasons. Number one, the more banks that now issue and transact with stablecoins means that we can tap an even larger number of corporates in the US.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first benefit. If you're using the community bank on Main Street and they're not offering stablecoin, well, it's a little bit more tricky for you to be doing stablecoin payroll with Zebec. So we're going to see more and more banks opt in, which opens us up to a much bigger share of the $11 trillion in annual US payroll volume. And then when you see bank-led consortiums like Zelle entering the stablecoin space, that is another net positive for Zebec, because now we'll be able to connect Zelle Pay to the Zebec super app, meaning that through a simple Zelle push, you'll be able to load stablecoins directly into your Zebec app.
Like, he laid it all out for us. And that was like, what, like a year ago this podcast was, right? He said, you'll see more and more banks enter. Like, it was a certainty to him. He didn't even blink or flinch or fumble or stumble. You'll see more and more banks enter. He said it flat. Like, hey, this is what's happening. It's inevitable. And he did not distinguish between any stable coins. Like, the more and more banks enact stable coins, the better it is for us. And what that says to me is, okay, one stable coin is just the same as the other as far as, and when you think about it, and we've seen some news from Cybos because of this, right? Like, stable coins have to go through a certain approval process. And since Zebec may have let's just say, like, they might have a link to that approval process through Ripple and Stellar, any stable coin you use, Zebec can support. Okay. So yeah, in my mind, they already support it. Don't forget about Fireblocks. Yep, that's a good point, nosy neighbor. Start that one for sure. 250 million Zebec that they would buy that much coin if it didn't have value, right? And they bought it at, like, I think it was like, it was around this price, maybe 0.003, 0.002. So they bought it around this price, right? It might have been even higher. It might have been 0.005, to be honest with you. But again, shout out to the shows that me and Max did on Fireblocks. Fireblocks is like the key custodian to all of this, right? And you guys know how I am with symbolisms, right? Firebox's logo is a triangle, the Trinity, if you will, the triangle offense for you Bulls fans. The triangle, of course, is a very big symbol when it comes to things. The Triskelion is kind of another symbol. You could say that it's the right hand and the left hand path, but also the center path. You could get really deep with the triangle and things like that. But yeah, Fireblocks is a key to this and what's going on. And shout out to us at Symbolism Sunday. We did another Symbolism Sunday. We covered predictive programming in Symbolism Sunday. Plume Network is also allowing deposits. Here, let me come right back here. So I think I might have forgotten to do something right quick. Let's play Rami again, saying how Zebec, you don't need a bank if you got Zebec, while I check this for just a second.
I was thinking I was just going to talk about your holiday from the summer, but that's really good because effectively MasterCard and the card companies are actually being super smart here in that they are utilizing their network without having to, or their trusted network, the trust that's there, and the link to the merchants for people to buy things, and dislocating or disintermediating the banks in between. So Zebec effectively, as you say, is a neobank for the unbanked, for people who don't have a bank. So you're able to spend money, earn money, send money, and looking at your website, you can stake, and there are some investment products there as well. You don't need a bank, actually,
absolutely,
to operate in the real world. So we always talk about we're in the crypto world and we're all very wallet centric and everyone knows how to use it, but for the mass adoption they are not ready for this. You need to have the trusted icon. It needs to work in Apple Pay. It needs to work on a MasterCard or a Visa or something like this, something that they're familiar with. And behind the scenes, they almost don't care that it's a stable coin. It just means you're getting paid your real money quicker, faster, cheaper, and you can still spend it. So, and you're delivering cost savings to the corporates who are implementing it in their payroll, and you're giving added value and as you said, an HR benefit for those who work for them, the employees. So, yeah, I love where this is going. My question is sort of,
okay. All right, let's get back into our comments. I had to just check here. Let's see here. All right, let's get back to our comments, and let's put this back up here. Okay. What's up, Dina? Sony in the house. I'm back rebuilding my positions after a severe tumble. Thanks, Rue. No problem, Dina. Sony, man. I'm glad to see that you're back, brother. Appreciate you being here as always, man. And glad to see you recovering, man. Man, freaking shame, man. What happened, man? It's good to see you back, brother. My wallet has been kissing Zebec and Handle these 2 weeks. Definitely shout out to the Handle. Yeah, we're definitely investing in Handle as well. It's a good price for where it's at right now. Wow, Tevin King with the $20 super chat. I hope to see BTC drop to under 10K, which I don't see happening. But if it does reach close to that price, half the USA population will be millionaires. If they happen to get in at that price, unlikely to happen though. Yeah, I don't think that'll happen. Michael Saylor, BlackRock, everybody would take a massive L if that happened. And they're like, I think they're 11 Bitcoin ETFs just in America, but worldwide, there's so many. So just worldwide, I don't think they could afford to have that happen. Right. But who knows, right? They control all the money and all the fiat and everything behind it anyway. If they wanted to sink it to 10K, they could and short it if they wanted to. But who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe, bro. What's up, hater? My man smacked out that like button myself. Zebec app just waiting for open USD announcement. Gonna be on the app though, bruh, for sure. Indeed. Smash the like button, fellas. Likes are free. Indeed. What's good? HM. What's up, hitter? Ruel Washington, case in the joint. Good evening, everyone. I hope all of you are having a blast. What's up, Monarchy International Realty? With Ruel breaking the news. Cheers. USD has almost surpassed XRP in price. Oh, in market cap? Well, I could see that. But once XRP gets the regulatory clarity, they keep saying that they don't need it, but when clarity happens, it's definitely going to benefit XRP, regardless of them saying that they don't need it. It's going to benefit the entire crypto market. Now, I kind of agree with Rob on, will it happen like immediately? Probably not, because every time people think things are going to happen immediately, it never does, right? But once that kicks in over like the next 3 months after it kicks in, next 3 to 6 months after it kicks in, man, I think I definitely think that January of 2027 is going to be rocking, right? So I honestly think we got to have clarity sometime in Q3 or Q4 for that to be rocking. So my guess, methinks maybe July, right? So we'll see. But then if it happens in July, you give it like 6 months to kind of fully kick in. Maybe we have some uppage, some bleeding up, if you will, in the market in the October time frame and the August time frame. So August, September, October, we bleed up. We kind of fall somewhere in the November, December range because people are always reorganizing their portfolios for tax purposes, right? So, November, December, fall, and then back in January, once everybody is redeploying their money after the tax season, we just hike all the way up, right? This is my guess. This is my guess. And that we get clarity in July. I really think we get in July. It makes sense from an esoteric point of view, like the whole new system going out and the old system coming in before the 250th birthday of America. It just makes sense, right? Somebody called Jetpack a wisecracker out here. Keeping a Millie locked up for a long time. Phantom Beat, yes, indeed. What's up, Delta Ghost in the house? Stellar, XDC and Zebec. Over in Thailand, you have to scan to pay for almost everything. Oh, wow. What's up, that one guy? I'm not sure what he said about handle there. Won't be surprised if more stables come up into the top 100 tokens in crypto. I wouldn't be surprised either on that Jetpack. And that's why I say the coins that are going to actually extract value from stable coins and put it into their token, those are the ones that are going to win. So pretty much if your coin doesn't have some stable coin related to it or is pulling money off of some stable coin, I don't know, about your future, right? But shout out to Patreon. We know different coins that are doing that, and we know different coins we're looking at in certain different narratives and sectors. Come over to the Patreon, less than a cup of coffee, right, to hit the Patreon up. But that one guy, yeah, you almost got me on that one. But yes, indeed, they do still take cash. That is correct. That is correct. That's hilarious, bro. How dare you mention that right now? How dare you?
How dare you?
But that is correct. That is completely accurate that they do. That they do. Let's continue on here. Handle pump and dump. How according to Delta Ghost, I am actually in Handle. I am invested in Handle. So, but and we'll just leave it at that. Delta Ghost, Stellar XDC Zebec. He's not a fan of Canton out here. The financial system needs crypto to keep up with the speed of AI. The things are going to accelerate fast in the new industrial revolution. They are. And we're going to be looking at that in the next couple of days because I don't think people are truly ready. Like companies are already starting it where they're laying off 1,000 people at a time, right? Like a lot of people are getting put out of the workforce, right? And a lot of things are getting automated. AI agents are coming. Robots are coming in mass, right? And not in a couple years, like today. Now it's happening. You got the Optimus robots, you got the Neo robot. We talked about the Neo robot on here. Let me bring up Neo for people to see. They already have a functioning robot right now that people can use, that can find people's glasses, can even clean bathrooms. And it's only $20K. It's literally only $20K. And I say only because you would think it would be worth more. It would be a lot more than that. Like And eventually, they say one of the use cases is to have it watch your kids. I know people pay more than $20K for childcare, right? So, you know, childcare about to be gone, HR about to be gone, any like kind of fast food type of work about to be gone. They're already replacing fast food people with kiosks and things like that. I don't think people are ready for what's coming. I really don't think so. Inflation, bad economy, and cutting jobs, squeezing out retail. But yeah, face facts. What's up, Patreon member in the house? People are about to get priced out of life, like seriously priced out of life. And universal basic income is coming for a lot of people, right? And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be one of those ones on in universal basic income. I do not want that being me. So I'm gonna I'm going to look at every project possible, bringing that to the people. We're working hard over on in the Patreon. We're working hard as a community. You know, it will not be me. It will not be me in universal basic income, and hopefully none of you guys as well either. All right. XPR and long-term holds, yes, indeed. And speaking about people who have access to a stable coin, well, Metallicus has their own stable coin, the XMR, right? I think it's XMD, excuse me, XMD. So they're going to funnel a lot of money into stable coins and hopefully funnel that back into their ecosystem, right? But let's continue. Not a fan of the Canton, huh? X-World 2 to pay in any stablecoin, no friction, and more that adopt the USSD, there won't be a need for any cross-border tokens. Well, underpinning all of this is Ripple's technology. I still think that underpinning the entire system is Ripple's ledger, or ODL. And you know, you take Ripple's technology along with Canton's technology, and that's the entire system, right? That is the entire system. So quiet as it's kept, if you were to like boil the system down into two sentences, it would be Ripple's ODL with Canton's global synchronizer, and that's it. There you go. RLUSD as the base layer of all stable coins, and the global synchronizer connecting any and all ledgers together so they atomically settle, and that's the network, right? You got agentic AI with near and different things, but let me not say too much, right? Let me keep this Patreon only, right? But you know, it's really kind of simple to see how they're drawing the lines right now. But drawing these lines means that more humans are going to lose their jobs. That's just what's going to happen. So Open is going to be the king of stablecoins. Well, I think it may be that a lot of stablecoin revenue gets routed to it. Yes. Will it be the king of stablecoins? We shall see. We shall see. Because I mean, yeah, we shall see. We shall see. We shall see if it'll be the king of stablecoins. We can talk about this more in the Patreon, for sure. We're gonna be future millionaires in a few years, indeed. Idaho XRP, my man.
My man.
Indeed. Canton money laund. Oh my god. I'm okay with Canton. I don't think that they're. I think that they're set up very well for the future. And I'll just leave it at that. I think they're set up very, very well for the future. Mexico is about to play. Mexico is about to play deuces. Indeed. Definitely like to see Mexico in the World Cup and see who's attending at the stadium around there at the World Cup with Mexico playing. Indeed. Longview Compute side, the misinformation on Canton is criminal. Indeed. I agree. There should be another buyback at the end of Q2 every quarter. Yes. Every quarter, Zebec has a buyback. Handle made its way back to 0.007. I understand it better now. Thanks. No problem. Enough energy tonight. I feel you, Longview Compute. Delta Ghost is a regular around here. I respect that people have their opposite views. I respect that on the channel. Scoreboard. Let's see here. What up, Ruin family? Oh, you had Heslin on for an interview a couple weeks ago. Oh man, I missed that, bro. I gotta see that. Shout out to that. And definitely check out our brother Longview. Let me share his channel right quick here. Shout out to Longview Compute. He had Heslin on. I might have to put that in a video if you don't mind. Like parts of that. I'll definitely have to come look at that. So shout out to brother Longview Compute. Definitely give him a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I went on the space as a whole. We didn't mean to do that. Shout out to our guy Longview here. Trying to see where is it here. So you can see there I was on for a collab with him. It was fun times as always. We definitely got to get him the collab on this channel as well. Fun times. Definitely check out our brother Longview here, and definitely come over and like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. Go ahead and share the guys over there. Definitely check out the creators over here. We have along with Underdog Research Channel. Shout out to my brother Underdog Research Channel. Shout out to Shook Focus Digital, Maximus Crypto, the Mooniverse, Gentlemen of Crypto, NYC Odd App. Shout out to Crypto Future. Shout out to our brother Crypto Crossroads Show. Shout out to our brother the Ronin Experience here as well. And shout out to Benzinga and Simon Family Investments. You know what? I must have missed that, brother. I must have missed that. My bad, bro. My bad. Where do you see Zebec going price-wise by the end of 2026? That's a tough question. That depends on whether we get clarity. I can definitely see if we get if we get clarity by third quarter and things are popping in 2027, like I think they're going to be popping in 2027, maybe we get that all-time high, which is 5 cents by January. That would be something to see. Banker AI Agent X402, ZBCN, yes, indeed. Is it one-to-one conversion? $1 stablecoin per current value of ZBCN coin? No. So they all have some fees that they have for whatever happens with Zebec. Like right now they do it at 0 fees, right? Or very, very minimal fees. But as they grow customers, I'm sure what they'll do is they'll get a large customer base, and then at that time they will say, okay, now we're going to add on some fees, right? Because that's how you always do it. That's how it's always done. Companies get this large customer base, and then they're like, okay, well, you're on. You like what we do now? Well, let's keep hiking up the fees on you now. Netflix, just name any subscription service that you almost can't live without, right? And how they eventually every time hike fees on you. Netflix being one of them. I can't think of anything outside of Netflix right now, but Netflix would be the one, right? But yeah, so once people start adding on to the system, and of course, like once a few different competitors get real-time payroll, in order to keep up with other competitors, the other competitors are going to need to get real-time payroll. So then it'll just be okay, who's giving the least amount of fees, right? Who's giving them the least amount of surcharge for the real-time payroll? But all those fees will go back into ZBCN's coffers. Plume tokenized assets. Plume has their own stablecoin too. So you kind of see, guys, like the coins that kind of have their own stablecoin or are stablecoin agnostic, like ZBCN. These are the coins that long term I think are going to win, right? Chris Cope, hello. Do you see XDC benefits in this? Well, I don't cover XCN day to day that much. I know Max did a show on XCN or XDC, excuse me. I would have to come up to speed on XDC. Got to tell you, I haven't looked at XDC in quite a long time, so I really couldn't say. And I don't want to say anything. Like I want to be very truthful to what I'm telling you. So I don't, I will have to take a look at XDC and get back to you on that. Big homie Sailor says he'll bring us to 40K if he sells Bitcoin, and he just might. I just think it's weird that he went like, first of all, he like sold. What was it like? He started all of this by selling like some minuscule amount of Bitcoin. I can't remember how much. It was some like esoteric number though, like 32 million or 25 million or something like that. And it was just like he just had bought way more the weekend previous, which almost sounds like a retail move. You know what I mean? But I'm sure they have a grand plan in how they want this to roll out. And if 40K Bitcoin or 40K Bitcoin is that plan, it will roll out to that plan. I can't imagine that they would do that though. And I can't imagine that they would want Bitcoin to fail. If Sailor fails, Bitcoin probably fails. So, I mean, I don't think we want that as a crypto market because it would F up the whole market. But I think long term, the market will be fine because of things like this. You don't see all of this, I guess, unity from all these different banks and all these different players unless crypto and things were going to survive, right? So regardless of whether we get 40K Bitcoin or not, the thought to me is, okay, a year from now, 2 years from now, Bitcoin is 100K or more. Zebec is 5 cents or more. XRP is 10 or 12 or $20 or more. Like, it's the long-term plan. It's not where we're sitting right now in bargain basement prices. Right now, what I see is like everything's on sale. everything's a bargain right now. So I know that people want to get the best bargain. I get it. I understand it. But I find in the market, whenever you try to find the best bargain instead of just seeing the play that's right in front of you, is when you lose. Like, it's right in front of you. Bitcoin is not 100K right now. It's like, what is it? 57. What does it matter if you just DCA the whole way down, 57 down to 40? It really doesn't matter if you expect the price to be 100,000, 200,000 in less than 2 to 5 years, right? And really, that's the point in my mind, right? I know people are trying to get the best bargain that they can, but right now, Bitcoin's low. Why not DCA the whole way down, right? Not financial advice, but that's what I'm doing. Interesting name, Open USD, brings us back to the memory of OpenCoin. Oh, that's a good point. D Nelzoni, star that comment. That is a good point. Brings back the memory of OpenCoin. Can RLUSD be the secret sauce? I believe it is. I really believe it is. Be under all of these stable coins, I think, is RLUSD. I really think that. Just being a coder and understanding how code works, I really think it's the basis of all of this. But you're right, that Open USD harkens back to OpenCoin. And how many companies use that open name, right? Open Door, which they sell real estate. There's something to that. There's something to that for sure. Is Hecto on Solana too? I hear that it is on Solana. I haven't double checked or confirmed that, but we can right now. Let's see, who would know? Who would have that? I'm gonna guess Coin Market Cap, maybe. Oh, excuse me. Let's see here. Maybe it's actually on X. So I know they just came out with a contract. I know Longview mentioned that. Where are we at here? Hecto. Correcto. Let's see here. Okay, they locked their 30 million CC. That's good to see. That's good to see. Hecto recently locked 30 million CC on Canton Network, 25 million for digital asset, and 5 million to maintain featured app status. Okay, I think they're on Solana, but I don't know where you're going to find that contract address at. I know you can buy them on Canton. Well, let me see here. Let's go to Coin Market Cap. Maybe that shows it. Hecto. Okay, well, Okay, I'm not sure about this, so I'm not going to show any of these. But if Longview Compute's still in there, if you got the contract track address, homie, If you can let me know, I'd appreciate it. To Hecto on Solana. Zell and ZBCN got me buying more tokens. Lawrence Fink flashed the triangle at Davos speech. Oh, wow. Mr. Larry there. Flash that new world order triangle. New world order out here. Ninja Mike 515. Rue, can you check if OUSD is a Draper family initiative? The blockchain has been very quiet lately, and that could be why. Well, I know a lot of these companies mentioned on here have. One second, guys. Sorry about that. A lot of companies on here have connections to Tim Draper. A lot of them on here. It might be quite possible here that there's some connections there, like Coinbase and all of that. But I'll have to double check. America 250, Rosie is the committee chairwoman. Indeed, the Nelzoni is dropping some gems in here. Derek McCormick with some love for Handle Pay. Rue is the crown king of Zebec content on all social media platforms. I appreciate that, Jay Bonkers. Especially coming from you, brother. I appreciate that. IOTA is an absolute bargain, perfect for agents in the near future. That's an interesting pick there. Let's start that. IOTA is also now available, I believe, on Uphold. A nice pick there. What's up, fellas? What's up, Charmizzle? I'm hearing a lot about Hecto lately. Indeed, Zebec gonna keep on UBI. Well, I don't know if Zebec's gonna do UBI, but I think that's WorldCoin, who's kind of, Sam Altman. He's the one who's been testing out UBI and things like that. So WorldCoin might be the UBI coin of the future, but it might be possible that Zebec can do things like UBI. They definitely are doing government payments for all Unity stablecoin, but I think Sam Altman and WorldCoin will be the ones doing that. Did you look more into IDOS? I did look more into IDOS on the Patreon. So definitely we will be continuing to look more into IDOS. But yeah, I'll keep it there. I'll keep it there. But yes, I did. What's up, Exit Flip? And thank you for the $2 super chat. Really appreciate that. Zebec, baby. Shout out to Tony S, my man.
My man.
More Americans going to lose their jobs compared to the rest of the world. And that's it. That's really it there, Jay Bunkers. You coming in with some heat, brother. Americans, we're the ones who cost the most, right? And companies have been slowly phasing out. Like, I know different companies I've worked for, they've had Indian, and I mean Indian from India, right? Like, they've had Indian employees working, right? So they can have employees working around the clock. Different companies I've worked for have had, Russian or European employees, right? America, we are the guys that cost the most. They're going to eventually phase us out, so that with companies like Zebec and the Super app, you can now pay any person on any place in the world. You can pay the best talent at the lowest prices. So if you got a comparable engineer in Russia that you can pay for pennies on the dollar because Russian money is worth less than American money, then you're going to go with the Russian engineer, or you're going to go with the Indian engineer because you can pay him like pennies compared to what you can pay an American engineer. And that's when things are going to be crazy. Also on the fact that, AI is getting better and better, and AI will probably be coding things in the future where it's basically humans kind of guiding the AI in code, right? And they've been working towards this since things like Rational Rose and Enterprise Architect, which I'm sure Longview Compute, he's a coder, he'll tell you. They've been working towards this and getting better and better and better at it, right? Yep. Zebec to $3. Phantom Beat was a great interview. Shout out Coin Vault and Max. Yes, indeed. What's up, Riviera Group? Another longtime Patreon member, as well as Let's Square, New Jersey in the house. We got the Rook Crew Heavy in here today. Longview, is that? Did he put his tongue out? Is that? How dare you? How dare you, Longview?
How dare you?
Oh man, shout out to you, brother. Tony S with the bang and the is that a ghost? I can't tell. I need to get some glasses over here. Netflix is notorious for hiking fees. Yes, indeed. And that's the next bit, the Netflix cycle. Like Marshall Hayner has mentioned it. And shout out to Simon Barrett, may or may not have mentioned it. Shout out to the Patreon people, right? Next to zero fees, right? And then once you get everybody used to zero fees and they're loving your service, well, then maybe you put out a proposal and you hike up the fees a little bit, right? Because once a ton of people get on the on a platform and they put out a zip, right, a Zebec proposal, that everybody who has the bet coins, they're going to want to have the fees because they know that it's going to lead to more revenue on the coin, right? Zebec improvement proposals, zips, are subject to 24-hour to 7-day voting period. Well, when you get all the people on the network and everybody's enjoying zero fees with their streaming payroll, and then it comes up time where there's a proposal that says, hey, should we do a 1% fee or no fees, or 2% fee or no fees? Fireblocks is holding 250 million Zebec. I'm holding Zebec. I'm going to vote for a little bit of fees because I know it's going to pump my bags. Everybody else is going to think the same way, and they're going to vote for fees, and that's what's going to happen, right? So we know it's happening. We know it's happening. Swiftcoin, wake up! Yes, indeed. Think about it. Saylor definitely has different ledgers with different price point position he bought with Bitcoin. He's just selling the Bitcoin ledger with profits. I think Saylor and his stretch product that he has, it's going to behoove him and benefit him for Bitcoin to go to a big price. He has a lot of money where people are invested in stretch, trying to get yield on their Bitcoin or trying to get yield from the stock market, right? So I think Saylor's not going to go anywhere, right? As much as people keep wanting, I think it's like XRP people wanting this. I don't think that you want this, XRP people. You do not want the destruction of Bitcoin because it's not going to benefit the market. Do you want some Bitcoin and Ethereum money to come over to XRP? Yeah, well, maybe you want that, but you definitely don't want XRP, or you definitely don't want Bitcoin to die. And I think we understand that because of all the infrastructure that's built into Bitcoin and Tether and all of that. It's not going to die. It's not. Neither will Tether either. What are your thoughts on the Ansem play? Oh, gee, or bad for crypto? Well, I saw that there was like a meme coin for Ansem. Ansem, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but hey, if people can do the whole meme coin thing, shout out to them, man. Shout out to them. Some people can pull that off. Rockhound, oh shit, Longview, Rue brought out Greta. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Longview got a Greta. He got a Greta. Shout out to him. Let's see here. The Nelsoni, it seems maybe when other nations, y'all can see, I can't really see here. When other nations CBDCs are announced to be on the XRP ledger, and then old USD can be exchanged for CBDCs using XRP or Zebec super app payroll payments, or else am I well here's the thing. The guy from Cybos told us that stablecoins needed central bank approval. Now, that just makes sense to me, right? Because aren't dollars central bank approved, right? You know what I mean? Because I think they've gathered from the data that people don't like CBDCs. They think it's the devil. They don't like it. Their sentiment is completely against it. So they just remixed it. They remixed it into stablecoin. Stablecoins require central bank approval. And I think that's why ultimately, I think that RLUSD is behind all of these stablecoins. Infer from that what you will, right? But I ultimately think that RLUSD is behind every stablecoin, right? It's the base layer and base level of all stablecoins. So OS or OUSD is just another abstraction layer on top of that. It's just another I'm kind of speaking code talk, but like imagine like layers of cake. They added another layer on top of the lowest layer, which is the RLUSD. They added this OUSD layer on top, which will say cover these 140 companies. They could have just said it was RLUSD, but they don't want you to know that XRP is the one behind it. So they just created another protocol. That's just speculation on my part. It's not neither here nor there, but this is my speculation. Instead of just saying, hey, it's RLUSD that's doing this, they created another layer on top of it so people wouldn't know that it's RLUSD behind the whole thing. That's just my tinfoil hat. Take that for what you will. But OUSD, is just another abstraction layer on top of RLUSD in my mind. What did the five fingers say to the face?
What did the five fingers say to the face? What? Slap!
Unity. Darknesses. Shout out to Dave Chappelle, RIP Charlie Murphy. Charlie Murphy. Oh man, love that clip. Let's continue on here. Hecto TG Group says there's no official SOL contract, so be careful. Okay. I know where's Longview. I hope he didn't I hope he didn't peace out here. But it would be nice here if he had the contract, because I know he said earlier that they had a contract. I don't know if I was in his live stream or what, but I heard he said that they have a contract. But I'm not sure if it's a Solana contract or not. So yeah, be careful, guys. I think the only safe way to get to Hecto is to buy it on Canton at the time being. But they may or may not have a Solana contract. Right. OUSD is the CBDC. Right. That's fair. But I think at some level, all stable coins have to have central bank approval. But long show today. A blast from the past, a 2-hour and 10-minute show. If you made it to the end, put OUSD in the chat, and that will let me know that you made it to the end there. Shout out to the creators that were in the house today. Shout out to Longview Compute. Shout out to Jetpack. Shout out to, do we have some other creators in the house? I swore we had another creator in the house here. But yeah, shout out to all the creators and things that joined. Shout out to the Root Crew. Shout out to my Patreon members that joined. But yes, put OUSD into the chat once the live stream ends, and that will let me know that you got to the end. Thank you guys for such a lovely stream, and shout out to those and thank you guys for rocking with me. I'm out. Peace.